I know we've all watched parents who are over the top crazy for their kids in sports, but I'd like to tell you a story of an NFL football player named Todd Marinovich and his dad Marv, who definitely take the cake. Marv Marinovich started from day one, who completely managed everything about his son Todd's life, so that eventually he would become an NFL star, something he was never able to accomplish. After harming his own NFL lineman career by overtraining and focusing too much on weight and bulk, Marv opened his own athletic research center. Later, he applied the techniques he had developed to his own young son, introducing him to the athletic training before Todd can even get out of his own crib, and he strenuously continued it throughout his childhood and adolescence. After Todd had won High School Player of the Year, which he was awarded in 1988, Sports Illustrated had done an article entitled "Bred to be a Superstar." After reading this article, I'd like you to listen to some of what was in the article. Quote, "He has never eaten a Big Mac or an Oreo or a Ding Dong. When he went to birthday parties as a kid, he would take his own cake and ice cream to avoid sugar and refined white flour. He ate only unprocessed dairy products and even teethed on frozen kidneys." When Todd was 1 month old, Marv was already working on his son's physical conditioning. He stretched his hamstrings. Push-ups were next. Marv had invented a game in which Todd would try to lift a medicine ball onto the kitchen counter. Marv also put him on a balance beam, and both of these activities grew easier when Todd had learned to walk, obviously. There was a football in Todd's crib from day one, which he had bought for him on his first birthday. Long after Todd's professional career had ended, an ESPN columnist named the elder Marinovich Marv one of history's worst sports fathers, quote unquote. What eventually happened was Todd got into drugs while he was in high school. His drug problem continued to get worse once he went to college and later while playing in the pros. Unfortunately, drugs were the ultimate thing that ended his career. Today, he is still in recovery. Now that, of course, is an extreme example of a parent living out their sports dreams through their child and is a perfect example of how it can really go wrong. Most parents, of course, would never go to such extremes, but it can be just as damaging when parents actually push, even in very subtle ways. I can't tell you how many times young athletes constantly get pent up, hurt, shamed from them having to try to live up to their parents' expectations.
I want you to check in with yourself as a sports parent here for a minute. Ask yourself these questions. Do you tell your kid what he did wrong and what he needs to do better in the car on the way home from the game or event? In the future, this is the worst time to do that. Or does your body language show your disappointment when you watch your child perform subpar? Kids pick up on this big time. Do you ever hear yourself yelling at the officials? Kids cite this as the #1 most embarrassing thing that can happen to them. Do you force your child to participate in a sport when they really, really don't want to? You need to ask yourself, with all honesty, why are you pushing this? And is it worth it to your child's confidence and self-worth to just play for you? And what toll does this take on your family? Now, if you've answered yes to any of these questions, I've got a free ebook that you might get a lot out of reading. It's called The 10 Commandments for a Great Sports Parent. Go to sportsmentaltoughness.com to get your free copy. This could be one of the most important things you read as a parent, to quickly learn techniques and tools to boost your child's confidence and to keep your communication flowing. Now, I get so much pleasure out of seeing kids playing for the love of their sport. And I applaud those of you parents who lay the groundwork to make this happen.
How can we help as parents to keep our children involved in sports, but yet not go over the top, as many parents constantly have the problem of doing? As anybody knows, parents are the key to improving youth sports for everyone. You need to be doing all you can to keep your child active in sports and receive the benefits of sports participation. Do you know what your role is as a parent? I realize that there are only 4 roles in sport. 1 being player, 2 coach, 3 official, or 4 fan. You need to pick one of those and stick with it. Understand that your child is the participant, not yourself, and that your expectations are based on the child's needs, not yours. Avoid coaching from the stands, and also avoid criticizing the officials, coaches, and opposing players, which may set a bad tone for your child. Seek to be positive and encouraging fan. Applaud good plays for both teams to show good sportsmanship. If you coach your child's team, you need to seek model appropriate behavior and sportsmanship. Do you have it all into perspective? Understand that children play sports for fun, fitness, friends, participation, and skill development. Don't try to push them into anything else until they're ready for the next steps. You need to examine your own reasons for being involved and make sure that the child's reasons for playing come before yours. Focus on encouraging skill development and fun participation, not on winning. Realize that children's work is play, and try not to interfere with their experiences. Focus on your child's development as a whole person, not on his or her prospects for a sports scholarship or for professional career playing sports. Do you model the kind of behavior that you'd like to see in your child? Let the coaches and the officials officiate. You need to avoid criticizing the officials, the coaches, or the players, both during the game and after. Applaud for good plays for both teams. Treat coaches, officials, players, and other parents with respect. Provide only positive encouragement before, during, and after all the games. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Do you encourage sports participation for the long term? Do all that you can to make sports participation fun, particularly since experts advise that most children stop participating when sports are no longer fun for them. Remain quiet after the game and avoid critiquing or analyzing your child's performance on the way home. Know that your child wants to hear you say, "I love watching you play." Seek out leagues with trained coaches who focus on the positive aspects of sport, including sportsmanship, fun, and skill development. Try to make 5 positive comments for every 1 critical comment to your child. Experts advise filling the child's tank with positive comments to aid in their learning. Lastly, you need to resist any efforts to make your child specialize in any particular sport at any young age, and allow the child to make these choices on their own.
Problems aren't necessarily on the field as much as they are in the stands.
Talk to their parents about it and let them know that there's a sportsmanship problem and that maybe they should cool it a little bit and be a little more calm and realize it's just a game and everyone's trying to have fun.
We get thrown out of games if we acted like.
We love our parents and we value the support you give us by coming to our games.
But the problem with parents showing poor sportsmanship at school games is very real and very serious.
It's one thing to sit here today and agree with everything that is said. That's what most parents do.
Now we need you to behave properly when you go to all of our events.
It's tough to be a role model for others when you can't even be a role model for us.
Sure, we want to win when we play, but we want to have fun too.
And when you don't practice good sportsmanship, it does take all the fun out of the game for us.